Denver's air quality is the 10th worst in the world. Bad again. That's according to services like IQ Air. Now, they sort the air quality index numbers from major cities, which today topped 120 in Denver. Of course, the higher the number, the worse the air. Now, 50 or lower means good air quality. 100 or above means the air quality is unhealthy for sensitive groups or unhealthy, very unhealthy, or once it gets up to 300, it is considered hazardous. It is certainly not great for our health to be breathing bad air, but our 9 Health expert, Dr. Paula Coley, is here to help explain what it really means. So let's talk first about short-term impacts and long-term impacts from breathing this air. Not just today, almost daily now.
Yeah, Tom, we don't think about it, but it's a drug that we're exposed to every day, essentially. Short-term impacts are anything that the air comes into contact with. So I like to think of our mucosal membranes. We've been talking about
Wait a minute, what's a mucosal membrane?
We're going to talk about mucosal membranes now. Your eyes,
right,
your mouth, your nose, your throat.
That's where we're feeling it.
That's exactly where, and I wake up every morning feeling a little congested, having a little bit of irritation in my eyes. You can also feel it in your skin. You can have headaches, you can have nausea. These are all short-term, temporary things, inflammation in the lungs. Long-term, it can actually affect our lifespan. So it can shorten our lifespan. It can increase our risk of heart disease, cancer, lung disease, emphysema, a whole host of things.
And people, we talk about people with pre-existing conditions. This is something that is more dangerous for them.
It absolutely, and pregnant women and children and really anyone who spends time outdoors. You think about driving in your car with the AC going.
Yeah.
All those people that are working outdoors, they're getting a higher dose of that pollution.
So thank goodness we're all wearing masks again. Do masks help? I mean, are masks, nobody wore a mask 2 years ago, but now many people have masks or are wearing masks. Does a mask help now?
Certain masks help. So the N95s and the KN95s will filter out some of those air pollutants. The simple surgical masks may help a little, but they're really not going to filter out those small droplets too much. In fact, the air pollution being bad may actually make it a little harder for us to tolerate that mask.
So how do we limit exposure to this type of air?
So I really want us to think about this like a toxin that we're being exposed to. So it's the dose of the toxin. So how long we are outside, what we're doing outside. In other words, exercising outside, big no-no. Because when we're exercising, deep breaths and breathing faster. So you're getting a bigger dose of that air pollution.
So let's put this in relation now with COVID. Is this, it's different? Does it compound COVID? Is it something that also will confuse people as to what is something I don't feel well because of the air and something that might be a COVID clue?
Yes, all of the above. So we've seen that increased transmissibility of COVID occurs when there's more air pollution. Now, we don't know if that's a function of the virus or a function of a change in our behaviors. Perhaps we're staying indoors more.
But you are more likely to be exposed to COVID in this type of air than in good, clean air.
Exactly. Wow. You're more likely to be exposed. You're more likely to get sick from COVID because it affects the immune response in your lungs, and you're more likely to have a bad outcome like a hospitalization or a death. And
as far as symptoms, will they confuse with one another?
Very
How
much
can you
so.
differentiate?
Especially in a fully vaccinated person where the COVID symptoms of, upper respiratory symptoms, congestion may be very similar. So few key clues. The first I think about is exposure.
Okay.
So have you had an exposure potentially? Have you been traveling? Have you been seeing people without your mask on? And the second is systemic symptoms, meaning fevers, chills, muscle aches, diarrhea, abdominal stuff. You're not going to get that with air pollution because it's more your mucosal membranes that we talked about. Whereas with COVID, which is a systemic illness, you can see that.
Is there anything medicinally that people can do at this point, or is it really just limit exposure to the bad air?
I think limit exposure, stay hydrated, because that really helps your mucosa clear out some of those toxins, and look out for those people that are higher risk, like your grandparents, and check in on those people.
Clear out your mucosa. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, I say that all the time. That's just good advice.
All about the mucosa.
Any day. That is good advice. Dr. Coley, thanks. Obviously, these are difficult times for a lot of people. It's good to have some good advice. Appreciate it.